Yo, what it is, YouTube? It's your boy MixLikeNix coming back with another bullseye tutorial here today on the channel. I wanted to go over MoneyBagg. Yo, we gonna be going hard these next few days with these vocal tutorials. So if y'all got any more suggestions, drop it down below. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and let's jump into it right away. Let's not waste no time. Come on, let's go. Get it, I'm really too humble. Fuck it, I'm sure to top off with the summer. Yeah, I'ma tell you, see what I'm saying. Visual, hopping up the jet with them bands. Typical, load up a Dre, leave a man. Critical, Glock with a switch in your hand. Finish him. I know a bitch got more money than baby dad. Nigga, that's pitiful, seasonal. I know a click that gun, rappers and steppers. One gon' shoot some, maybe out of 10 will. See what I'm saying? I mean, see what I'm saying. First one smoke, now they ain't playing. Nigga, real hoe, you know what I'm saying. See what I'm saying? See what I'm saying? I mean, see what I'm saying. Trying to fuck me soon as I land. Turned her out, she rep my brand. Ooh, all right. So that was my best impression of me doing MoneyBagg Yo. I love MoneyBagg Yo's music, and that's why I wanted to do a tutorial for him today. So let's get over some of them gems, how you can get that hard, gritty, modern trap sound. Let's not waste no time. I'm gonna bring it in and out really quickly so you can see how we went from a bedroom recording to like an industry quality production. Like you're gonna hear it. Let's go. Get it, I'm really too humble. Fuck it, I'm sure to top off with the summer. Yeah, I'ma tell you, see what I'm saying. Visual, hopping up the jet with them bands. Typical, load up a Dre, leave a man. Critical, Glock with a switch in your hand. Finish him. I know a bitch got more money than baby dad. Nigga, that's pitiful, seasonal. I know a click that gun, rappers and steppers. One gon' shoot some, maybe out of 10 will. See what I'm saying? I mean, see what I'm saying. First one smoke, now they ain't playing. Nigga, real hoe, you know what I'm saying. See what I'm saying? See what I'm saying? I mean, see what I'm saying. Trying to fuck me soon as I land. Turn. All right, so let's not waste no time. Let's get into it. And if you guys do want to check out his vocal template or any more different ones that I have, go to the comments down below and check it out. So let's not waste no time. Let's get into it. So with somebody like MoneyBagg Yo, I know he comes from Memphis, Tennessee. And, you know, I really love his accent. You know, he's like a rapper that I feel like, you know, he really grinded a lot and he came up and now he's one of the top rappers in the game. I don't think he made it when he was young. You know, I think he made it, you know, around a good time. So I really like how his whole style and his sound is. So with MoneyBagg Yo, you know, pretty much I wanted to keep some of that air. I wanted it to be dark, but not too pretty and bright, because I know Memphis, Tennessee, you know how it get down over there. You know, it ain't sweet over there, so I don't want the vocal to sound sweet. So that's what I did. I made sure I didn't make it too bright, but I still wanted some clarity. So, you know, I was doing a lot of counter moves here. I found like kind of like a little mid-bass frequency, and I was kind of shaping the low end of his vocal. It's always important to know how hard the bass is hitting and listen to it with the vocal, and you got to make like the low end of the vocal kind of match with the beat. You know, sometimes when somebody has a you know, too much of a deep voice, you can hear like the 808 starting to fight with their vocal, but usually that's when you got to kind of like work it. You got to shape it like you know, kind of like a meatball or something like that when you're cooking. You know what I mean? You take a big piece of beef, which is a raw vocal like I have right here, and you slowly shape it into something that can be consumed easier. Okay, so yeah, let's listen to it with and without. Get it, I'm really too humble. Fuck it, I'm sure to top off with the summer. Yeah, I'ma tell you, see what I'm saying. Visual, hopping up the jet with them bands. Typical, load up a Dre, leave a man. Critical, Glock with a switch in your hand. Finish him. I know a bitch got more money than baby dad. Nigga, that's pitiful, seasonal. I know a click that gun, rappers and steppers. One gon' shoot some, maybe out of 10 will. See what I'm saying? I mean, see what I'm saying. So you definitely hear right there, it kind of made the vocals just sound a little bit more crispy, and then also tidying up the low end. So that's something very important to understand. Even if you have a skinny voice, just listening to the low end of your voice and the ratio to the beat, because sometimes there's beats where the 808 might be stretched out a lot. It might not be too active, where you might have to use the low end of the vocal to actually drive the song. You know, I'll talk about that a little bit more in depth another day, but that's something that's true. And also I had something like the Abbey Road RS124. I love this. I used the unit type as cutter, so kind of gave me like a different color, a different saturation. And then with the recovery time, you got to understand this is a Verimute compressor, and with Verimute compressors, they're like literally one of the slowest compressors. So, you know, all of these other times, sometimes they can be literally too slow for a vocal, especially with rapping, and depending on the tempo as well, you got to pay attention to the tempo. You know, somebody's rapping, the flow might be too slow, and it might start to sound quote unquote nasally or funky. So you got to understand the topology of the compressor you're using, and overall like what is truly the attack and release time. So I used the fastest one, and also I was just using this to really stabilize the vocal, while at the same time also adding some of that good old tube saturation, helping smooth out the high end very early on, kind of like turkey basting, and really just doing the prepping for how I would do the rest of the processing. So yeah, the tube saturation, you know, it kind of has a smoothing of the highs, so I didn't have to use a de-esser too early. And then we also know that the tubes give a little bit of body, a little bit of weight, so I just did a cut with the EQ. Now I'm adding back a little bit of weight, but not with EQ EQ with saturation. So that's a different way you can do it. Get it, I'm really too humble. Fuck it, I'm sure to top off with the summer. Yeah, I'ma tell you, see what I'm saying. Visual, hopping up the jet with them bands. Typical, load up a Dre, leave a man. Critical, Glock with a switch in your hand. Finish him. I know a bitch got more money than baby dad. Nigga, that's pitiful, seasonal. I know a click that gun, rappers and steppers. One gon' shoot some, maybe out of 10 of them. See what I'm saying? I'ma see what I'm saying. First you want smoke, now they ain't playing. Nigga, real hoe, you know what I'm saying. See what I'm saying? See what I'm saying? I'ma see what I'm saying. So pretty much that's also how saturation works. It kind of makes it sound like it's bigger than what it was. Even though the needle is literally hovering about somewhere to 4 to 5 dB, this one reminds me of hardware a lot because you can hit it so hard and it does not crap out. That's the difference between a good modeled analog plugin and not. You know, the reaction, you know, it's kind of like a human being. You know, if you slap somebody in real life, they're going to react by hitting you back. That's kind of what a good compressor is supposed to do. If you hit it hard, it's going to give you you know, kind of like a different reaction. Versus if you had like an AI or a robot and you slapped it and it looked at you, you'd be like, what? That's so weird, because that's not an authentic reaction. So that's how, you know, some of the, you know, better analog plugins, they have better reactions, like as in the way they move and what they add. So look, also you got to understand. So I only boosted it by 3.5 dB, right? But I was hovering around 5. So it actually kind of sounded louder when the compression was in, just due to the nature of compression, the way it compacts and tightens things in, you know, to a box. You know, sometimes when Amazon, they shipping you stuff, if they box it up properly, they could just put all of the items inside of the same box rather than having to ship it to you in multiple boxes. So it's the same thing like that with the compression and also the harmonic density. It adds that weight from the tube, and it's kind of like a peacock. You know, there's like peacocks when they're looking for a mate, what they do is they start to open up their feathers and they make it bigger than what they seem. And that's kind of like what harmonic density does. You know, when you add something like tube saturation from a compressor like this, it makes the vocal seem bigger than what it really is. So okay, cool. After that, we had a de-esser. It wasn't working really too hard, about 1 to 3 dB, and on all of my templates, you know, you see the amount of compression and all that. And then after that, we had the multiband compressor, which is a C4. Let's listen to it with in and out. Get it, I'm really too humble. Fuck it, I'm sure to top off with the summer. Yeah, I'ma tell you, see what I'm saying. Visual, hopping up the jet with them bands. Typical, load up a Dre, leave a man. Critical, Glock with a switch in your hand. Finish him. I know a bitch got more money than baby dad. Nigga, that's pitiful, seasonal. I know a click that gun, rappers and steppers. One gon' shoot some, maybe out of 10 of them. See what I'm saying? I'ma see what I'm saying. First you want smoke, now they ain't playing. So I just love the way the multiband sounds, because now it's really just controlling the vocal, especially in the lower parts. You see that the release times are a little bit slower than the ones over here. And the main thing about that is just getting the low end right, really just controlling it and help it stabilize. You know, even something like an 808 or a bass or something like that, you always want to make it stable, because low end energy, the way it works, it starts to add up and add up and add up. It's kind of like a situation where you don't want it to start to take up all of the energy of the song, kind of like frequency wise, you know what I mean? And yeah, that's why you have a slower release. Just really clamp on it, keep it's in its butt, sitting in that chair, which is down the middle. Okay, cool. So the next thing after that, you know, you see over here, the release times over here are a little bit faster, but not too fast. It's really going with his flow. I was playing with the range and the threshold, and I wasn't doing too much, but you really hear just the added crispiness and added clarity. That's because now also I'm controlling the high end in a way to make it focus. Like if you take your hand and you put something all over the place and you tell somebody to catch it, it's a little bit harder for them to catch something that's moving all over the place, which is kind of like your ear trying to catch the sound of the vocal, versus when something's right down the middle, it's stabilized in a, you know, I put one finger in front of you and I keep it right there. It's easier for you to grab it because it's sitting down in one spot. Okay, cool. Next thing after that, I have the CLA 76. I think doing only like what, maybe 1 dB maximum, nothing too crazy, just for the tone. Get it, I'm really too humble. Fuck it, I'm sure to top off with the summer. Yeah, I'ma tell you, see what I'm saying. Visual, hopping up the jet with them bands. Typical, load up a Dre, leave a man. Critical, Glock with a switch in your hand. Finish him. I know a bitch got more money than baby dad. Nigga, that's pitiful, seasonal. I know a click that gun, rappers and steppers. One gon' shoot some, maybe out of 10 of them. See what I'm saying? I'ma see what I'm saying. First you want smoke, now they ain't playing. Nigga, real. So I'm really using that for the output gain, just to give me some of that distortion, and the preset is 0 to 1 dB compression. So we're just using it for more of the circuitry inside of the actual 76, not for the actual, you know, we don't need an 1176 too much because he's rapping kind of slow. So the flow of the rapper is gonna also tell you what type of compressors you need to use faster. slow, all of that. The next thing after that, we have a SSLG channel. The SSLG channel, I love it because it's a little bit more grittier than the E. The E is pretty cool too, but for something like MoneyBagg Yo, you know, this type of sound just makes me think of the trenches, the hood. See what I'm saying? The hub in the bands. You feel me? That's just what his life is. So I'm going off of the ingredients I'm trying to put into this mix right here is based off of, you know, his character and the image I'm trying to paint. So I picked the SSLG over the E because the G is dirtier. And then, you know, I had a basic roll off of 20. That's really more like a tonality type of thing, because just the filter has a certain type of sound to it. You know, this is like an 18 dB octave, and I think this is a 12 dB octave as well. So, you know, back in the days when they had tape, I believe the higher octaves are always a little bit more gentle just because the tape was already doing smoothing anyway. So they didn't need like a 18 dB octave here and an 18 dB right there. You know what I mean? And after that, you know, let's listen to what it sounds like with and without. Get it, I'm really too humble. Fuck it, I'm sure to top off with the summer. Yeah, I'ma tell you, see what I'm saying. Visual, hopping up the jet with them bands. Typical, load up a Dre, leave a man. Critical, Glock with a switch in your hand. Finish. I know a bitch got more money than baby dad. Nigga, that's pitiful, seasonable. I know a click that gun represent steppers. One gon' shoot some, maybe out of 10 of them. See what I'm saying? I'm may see what I'm saying. First. All right, cool. So pretty much what we have right there, we're just clearing out some of the clutter, just a little bit of, you know, just pulling out it with the low mid bell. And then also I did the low shuffle and I divided it by 3. So this is pretty interesting too. You know, this one is times 3 and this is divided by 3. But, you know, so that pretty much means that's like what? I was never a genius at math. So what, like, that's like in the, like what, the 15 or 18 dB, somewhere around there. And yeah, after that, you know, you have somewhere where this one does times 3, which is pretty good too, because you can just really get musically and cover a lot of stuff with something like an SSL EQ. And I boosted the top a little bit. I usually don't do it. I'm usually against it, but this was a time when I boosted a little bit of top just because I liked what it was doing. And then after that, I have something like the Kramer master tape, and the Kramer master tape essentially is working like a de-esser, a saturator, just helping the vocal sound a little bit more bigger, fuller, or also just really soothing out the top of it, you know? So some people like to use soothe. They think soothe is the only way to get non-harsh vocals, but nah, not really. There's multiple ways of doing it, you know, tape, a compressor, a multiband, maybe working in the high mid. There's a bunch of different ways to do it, but I like to use this tape to kind of really just take off the edge and tell the vocal to chill, you know? It's a digital recording. I don't want it to be too precise, so let's make it feel a little bit more human. Get it, I'm really too humble. Fuck it, I'm sure to top off with the summer. Yeah, I'ma tell you, see what I'm saying. Visual, hopping up the jet with them bands. Typical, load up a Dre, leave a man. Critical, Glock with a switch in your hand. Finish. I know a bitch got more money than baby dad. Nigga, that's pitiful, seasonable. I know a click that gun represent steppers. One gon' shoot some, maybe out of 10 of them. See what I'm saying? I may see what I'm saying. First you want smoke, now they ain't playing. Nigga, real hoe, you know what I'm saying. See what I'm saying? See what I'm saying? I'm gonna see what I'm saying. So that's the good thing about tape 2, that kind of warming effect also adds energy. So maybe if the rapper he's going too crazy, he's just trying to be swagging, maybe you can add a little bit of tape that will bring in some more life, some more character, and you just hear the take sounds a little bit more energetic than what it was before. It sounds more, you know, lively. It sounds like it has some blood running through his veins. After that, I'm using a limiter right here, and I picked a limiter over a compressor just to really use it as an effect to squash out my vocals. So a limiter is kind of like when you go to the zoo and you see that big ass tiger and he trying to jump on you, boom, but then he hits the glass and he can't go past that glass because that glass is the absolute boundary. So that's what a limiter is pretty much. It doesn't really let anything from the audio signal go past it, you know what I mean? So let's look at it. Get it, I'm really too humble. Fuck it, I'm sure to top off with the summer. Yeah, I'ma tell you, see what I'm saying. Visual, hopping up the jet with them bands. Typical, load up a Dre, leave a man. Critical, Glock with a switch in your hand. Finish. I know a bitch got more money than baby dad. Nigga, that's pitiful, seasonable. I know a click that gun represent steppers. One gon' shoot some, maybe out of 10 of them. See what I'm saying? I may see what I'm saying. First you want smoke. And just listen to it. Actually kind of sounds like I did an EQ move. So I'm pretty much using that limiter to really just squash kind of like the signal just a little bit to where it kind of brings out more of the lows, you know, if you know what I mean. Then after that, I had a de-esser, not doing nothing crazy, you know, doing like what, like 3 dB or whatever. Get it, I'm really too humble. Fuck it, I'm sure to top off with the summer. Yeah, I'ma tell you, see what I'm saying. Visual, hopping up the jet with them bands. Typical, load up a Dre, leave a man. Critical, Glock. Yeah, and it's very good. You never really want to hear the de-esser. You just want it to kind of like work. And that's why I actually been using a bunch of different de-essers lately. So I'll have a video about that soon. And we have the RVox. We're using the gate to tighten this up, a little bit of compression. And then after that, we have something like the fresh air. All right, let's go over the effects really quickly. I don't want to take too much time. We have an H delay, you know, just doing the eighth, and let's hear it. Get it, I'm really too humble. Fuck it, I'm sure to top off with the summer. Yeah, I'ma tell you, see what I'm saying. Visual, hopping up the jet with them bands. Typical, load up a Dre, leave a man. Critical, Glock with a switch in your hand. Finish. All right, yeah, so we have that delay right there, side chaining, just adding a little bit of more width to the vocal. Then we have a doubler as well to add a little bit more dimension. And I really like the doubler a lot just because it really just has like a certain way of just adding more body that's not really there. And then after that, I use something like the Abbey Road's plate on this MoneyBagg Yo vocal. A plate for a vocal is always pretty good. It's kind of like peanut butter with jelly. It just works so well because plates usually have shorter decay times and all that. So I just really liked how warm this one sounds. And you have a bunch of different features like the drive. I use that here, the analog, a little bit of pre-delay, just a little bit. I wanted to keep the vocal dry for the most part to keep it in focus. And yeah, pretty much that's what we had. And last thing we had is the API 2500. So the API 2500 is very well known for being very snappy, and that's because of a couple different reasons. Also the fact that it's solid state, you got VCA components, and also the fact that you have this thrust so you can change the detector. So when you put it in the thrust, I'm pretty much making it ram into the compressor, which gives it a little bit more aggressiveness. Get it, I'm really too humble. Fuck it, I'm sure to top off with the summer. Yeah, I'ma tell you, see what I'm saying. Visual, hopping up the jet with them bands. Typical, load up a Dre, leave a man. Critical, Glock with a switch in your hand. Finish. I know a bitch got more money than baby dad. Nigga, that's pitiful, seasonable. I know a click that gun represent steppers. One gon' shoot some, maybe out of 10 of them. See what I'm saying? I'ma make see what I'm saying. First you want smoke, now they ain't playing. Nigga, real hoe, you know what I'm saying. See what I'm saying? See what I'm saying? Yeah, so pretty much that's what we have right there. All right, then let's just wrap it up with the ad-libs. You guys are also getting the master preset as well. So you get the beat leveler, master preset, ad-libs, lead vocal preset, okay? And let's just wrap this up real quick. I don't want to take too much time because I'm going to be doing a lot of these vocal tutorials this week just to let y'all know. And then, just a basic ad EQ, a C4 to stabilize the ad-libs, pretty much is my preset, C800 preset. And I just stabilize the ad-libs with that. And then after that we have a RVox, just for the background noise and just to make it sound a little bit more abrupt, to make the ad-libs kind of sound a little bit more special movement wise. And then after that we have an H delay, and I actually had the H delay going into the Abbey Road's plate, interesting enough, and I feel like it created a really nice dimension. Let's listen to that real quick. Get it, I'm really too humble. Fuck it, I'm sure to top off with the summer. Yeah, I'ma tell you, see what I'm saying. Visual, hopping up the jet with them bands. Typical, load up a Dre, leave a man. Critical, Glock with a switch in your hand. Finish. I know a bitch got more money than baby dad. Nigga, that's pitiful, seasonable. I know a click that gun represent steppers. One gon' shoot some, maybe out of 10 of them. See what I'm saying? I'ma make see what I'm saying. First you want smoke, now they ain't playing. Nigga, real hoe, you know what I'm saying. See what I'm saying? See what I'm saying? I really like it a lot because it kind of helps give the delay even more decay, because now there's that reverb there to make you really hear like, oh, that's kind of different. So it adds some dimension. The point of reference is like the lead vocal, and that's like kind of like just really the front hood of the car. And I really like how like that tail of the reverb hitting the delay, it kind of makes you think like of a muffler, like the smoke is in the back and it's coming out. So then I use the SSL as well, parallel compression. Get it, I'm really too humble. Fuck it, I'm sure to top off with the summer. Yeah, I'ma tell you, see what I'm saying. Visual, hopping up the jet with them bands. Typical, load up a Dre, leave a man. Critical. So yeah, that was pretty good to help the ad-libs get dirtied up. And then lastly, just a meta flanger, just simply blending it in, not necessarily so you can hear it, but just to add a little bit of wobbliness. You know what I mean? There's a lot going down the middle. He's only got like a lead vocal, so sometimes you gotta help bring in some of that movement, using something like delays and everything like that, or maybe some offsetting delays, some weirdness, And then the last, gem that I used here today is I used the limiter. I actually kind of wanted to reduce the stereo image of all of like this whole ad-lib stuff. So I actually just used the limiter to really just, be like a stopgap and really just start to compress everything. So let's look at that. Get it, I'm really too humble. Fuck it, I'm sure to top off with the summer. Yeah, I'ma tell you, see what I'm saying. Visual, hopping up the jet with them bands. Typical, load up a Dre, leave a man. Critical, Glock with a switch in your hand. Finish. I know a bitch got more money than baby dad. Nigga, that's pitiful, seasonable. I know a click that gun represent steppers. One gon' shoot some, maybe out of 10 of them. See what I'm saying? So yeah, pretty much it's always gonna be like a situation where a limiter is acting like a kind of like an ironer. When you iron your clothes, it pretty much just really flattens it and it makes everything straight. So because you are flattening the signal, you're kind of making everything. I didn't over iron it. I just did it slightly. Now you can start to really see all of the detail on the shirt that you're ironing or the pants. Kind of like I'm using this limiter to iron down the ad-lib. So now I can hear more of the reverb, more of the delay, more of everything. So yeah, it's been a great time talking to y'all. Like like I said again, this week we going hard. We working hard with these vocal tutorials. I'm back. So I just want to say thanks a lot for being a great part of my YouTube family. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Don't forget to drop the template down below if you want to get it. The link's going to be there. Peace.